What's up, YouTube? It's your boy BI to the T, back with a brand new video. And I've got a video from Patrick CC, one of my channels to go for trending, should I say creator topics? Yeah, and bizarre ones too. So he's got a video that says it's David. I, I don't know how you say it, but I call it David. I say David. So David's Dark Twisted Fantasy. So David is, let me read the description to you guys, okay? So it says, this video investigates the disturbing and confusing case surrounding musician David and his potential involvement in the death and disappearance of a 14-year-old girl named Celeste. I give a clear timeline of all reasonable evidence and speculation to figure out what may have happened. So this case has been trending a lot on X, with Redditors or X users just popping up with some weird evidence. Some going to his house, trying to be cops, I guess. But yeah, the cops came out finally saying Dave wasn't guilty for now. So I don't know if maybe this video is going to give us a more insight on what's actually going on. So don't forget to subscribe, leave a like on the video. Trying to get to 3K and check out my gaming channel. I'll leave the link in the description down below. Trying to get to 1K on that side too. So I'm going to split up my content now. Gaming is going to be on one side because you guys are complaining. So gaming is going to be on the other channel. And reacts and the vlog and everything, I'll start doing everything here. So streaming, gaming goes there. Streaming, vlogs comes here. Okay. So yeah, let's get into the video. Subscribe. It's free. It shows support. You don't have to be watching every time. On your free time, just check out the channel, okay? We have fun on this channel. Anyways, let's get into the video.
David was on tour the day she was found, traveling from Madison, Wisconsin to Minneapolis, Minnesota. Authorities expressed that David was cooperating with them, so it seemed like this was some horrible coincidence. But every day that passed, more information came out that made David look more like the prime suspect. The girl was identified as Celeste Rivas Hernandez, who had run away from her home 14 months earlier and had been missing ever since. The LAPD said it is very likely she was dead for several weeks prior to her being discovered. Some of the other initial reports were shocking. She and David had a matching
So with this part he just spoke about, some say it's 2 weeks, or after autopsy they said it's 2 weeks. So for him to say several, I mean several is, would you call 2 weeks several weeks? You can just say 2 weeks. But yeah, after autopsy they said it's 2 weeks. I hope it's called autopsy, right? I'm not the bro.
That said shh on their fingers.
And then the tattoo, so I also saw there's another celebrity who also has the same tattoo at the same spot on a hand. Yes, so it could be a fan thing. So I won't call that an evidence since there's another third party with the same tattoo at the same place. I won't call that evidence, bro.
Her brother told police
it could be a fan
regularly picked Celeste up in the same Tesla she was found dead in. Countless photos and videos were resurfaced where the two appeared to be close friends, if not
and then
possibly a couple. And one of the last times she was ever seen in public, she was backstage at one of his concerts. Now, if you look at all of the evidence I'm about to give you in no particular order, it screams that David is guilty. And by no means am I trying to defend him. Or
that's what I told when I also saw this thing.
But we are talking about a very serious murder of a child. And I think there are a lot of people on the internet that are looking at this as pure entertainment. And they're confusing the story and spreading false information.
That's the thing. Some people are just spreading false information, like trying to make things up. Some were just saying some weird shit like he's guilty. Like, you can just arrest someone for some mere evidence you have without it being actual facts. And you're not the cops, bro. Like, you guys should stop that. You can help the cops, but don't be planting. There was this guy who on X was saying he went to Dave's house and found a Tesla key. Bro, what shows that Tesla key belongs to David or whatever it's called? Bro, are you
because it
serious?
makes for a more interesting crime documentary.
There are
With
people who
that
just
being
change
said,
clouds
what
in
I'm
weird
going to
ways,
do is
so
try to
you can't
establish a
believe
very
anything.
clear timeline of events, from the moment Celeste may have met David to when she went missing to what happened while she was missing and
Patrick
ultimately
is a
when she
trusted
was
source.
found
Y'all
dead
should check
and
him
what
out.
has been proven
I
so
actually like his
far. In
videos.
July of 2022, David releases his breakout song Romantic Homicide, where he sings, "In the back of my mind, you died and I didn't even cry, not a single tear."
Where she died in the back of my mind. Like, I didn't kill her physically, but in the back of my mind, she died.
This song would go extremely viral on TikTok, would eventually become multi-platinum, and launch him into fame. 1 month later,
Crazy.
someone with the username Celeste messaged in David's Discord in August of 2022 saying that her parents are annoying and they won't let her go see him perform. He replies, "Don't worry, I'll fix it," which if this was the victim, she would have been 11 years old at the time of this message. A few months later,
That's
in
weird.
October of 2022, David asks for Celeste, and that same user replies, "Hi David, bark," seemingly excited to talk to him. She would have been 12 years old at the time. 1 year later, in October of 2023, David says he thinks girls his age are In December of 2023, a user in David's Discord takes a screenshot of what appears to be a live stream and asks David, "Who's the girl?" To which he replies, "You are a Fed," which basically means, "Why are you all up in my business?" Then again, if this was Celeste, who was not missing at this time, then he would be publicly hanging out with a 13-year-old. However, due to the low quality of this photo and half of her face being covered,
I mean, there is the same hairstyle, so I'm sure that's it, right? And what age would he be at that time too? Like, I want to
it's
also know
hard to
that
tell if
he's
this is
supposed to
actually
mention his age.
Celeste. Plus, you will notice a trend of David always being around girls that look the same. There is also this photo that may have been taken around the same time,
Okay, but
December
this
of
guy kind of looks
2023,
different.
although we don't have an exact date. But David's hair matched that color around late 2023 and early 2024.
Or is it just my eyes? This guy
January of
looks kind of
2024,
different,
David
right?
is seen on a live stream with the girl we strongly believe to be Celeste. It's important to know at the time of this stream, David was 18 years old, about to turn 19, and Celeste
so
was
he's past
13. Also, she was not a missing person at this time.
Yo, wait.
Oh, look it. Answer that one. That's so mean if you don't answer.
Which one? What's good, David? Big fan, big spot me. Bro, thank you, Mitochondria.
We need to delete this.
Are we, Maz, can we delete all VODs? And then as soon as the stream ends, delete the stream too?
It's interesting that they both
I mean,
wanted
people
this
will
stream
save it.
deleted, probably because Celeste made this joke about R-wording kids.
I media trained you.
No, you didn't.
That's controversial.
It's controversial of kids.
What the hell?
Really good.
Okay,
It's been a good one. Bye.
Bye, guys.
What?
Oh my! Delete everything. Delete everything. Everything goes.
He says he media trained her, hinting that
Media-
she can't just say wild things on the internet. Also in the chat, they are making jokes about David being on the Epstein flight
David
logs.
Epstein
So
flight
it seems
list.
like the conversation was something about
Wait, so if his audience were aware of something like this, why were they also quiet and not saying anything?
David and minors. Also, someone in the chat typed in Celeste's name. So at some point, she was identified on this stream as Celeste. Also at this time, David was rolling out a song called Leave Her, where he sings the lyrics, "I can't stop falling for her," and also was posting a ton of TikToks suggesting he was infatuated with a girl. Around this time, David started sporting a lot of Hello Kitty gear, mugs, shirts, plushies. He even romanticized a Hello Kitty girl. Hello Kitty almost became like an extension of his brand, and you'll notice a lot of Hello Kitty adjacent stuff with Celeste in a bit. In February of 2024, David's manager, Josh Marshall, entered a lease for a Hollywood Hills home. However, the owner wasn't informed that David was actually going to be the one living there. On February 14th, 2024, which was Valentine's Day, 70 miles south of David's home is a town called Lake Elsinore, California.
Damn, that's
a
far.
13-year-old girl named Celeste Rivas Hernandez was reported missing. Family members made posts to Facebook asking people to help locate her. Celeste's aunt wrote, "We still don't know anything about my niece, and I will not get tired of begging."
But wait, but how is she? Oh my God, this is crazy.
Begging
Why won't
God
you
and
tell your
appear well.
parents?
I love you, and you know that
I
the
mean, I don't
mercy
know,
of God
bro.
will
This is
accompany
crazy.
you wherever you are. I have faith, and you will return to our arms. Missing
And
person
she never
posters were
returned.
distributed around Celeste's neighborhood, and her family posted as many photos as possible to ensure she could be found.
Huh.
According to private investigator Steve Fisher, Celeste's mother somehow found out that she was with David and emailed his manager Josh, but this PI did not release the email. He also says a couple days after this email, Celeste returned home on February 20th, 2025.
Wait, she
Celeste's
returned
cousin
home?
made a post on Facebook a few days after she returned home saying, "Be careful with who you talk to on the internet, guys. Don't make the same mistakes my cousin made." However, just a few weeks later, Celeste was reported missing for a second time in March of 2024. On March
What?
19th, 2024, Celeste was captured on security.
Wait. He said Celeste returned home on February 2025, right? Let me go back because I heard that.
Mistakes my cousin made. However, just a few weeks later, Celeste was reported missing for a second
No,
a few days
hold on.
home on February 20th, 2025.
So she returned home on February 20th, 2025.
Celeste's cousin made a post on Facebook a few days after she returned home saying,
February 20th. So unless Patrick has made a mistake, this one says February 26th, 2024.
"Be careful with who you talk to on the internet, guys. Don't make the same mistakes my cousin made." However, just a few weeks later, Celeste was
So I'm
reported
sure it was
missing
supposed to
for
say
a second
2024,
time in
so he
March
made
of
a mistake.
2024. On March 19th, 2024, Celeste was captured on security camera footage belonging to Delago Spirits, a liquor store just down the street from her family home. At 7 a.m., a teen identified as Celeste by her family is seen walking down the street wearing an oversized black hoodie and
Bro,
white
you're
pants.
13 or
Now,
something.
her being out at
What?
this time isn't
Oh my God,
necessarily
bro.
weird
You're
because
supposed to be
kids
playing
walk
video
from school
games,
or
like-
the bus in the morning, but out of nowhere she begins to run around the corner. What I find interesting is how the other person she walks past stops and turns their head to look back at Celeste, almost like she noticed something weird. Like, was she crying or did she say something? During this time, chat logs from David's Discord indicate that his closest fans knew about them. Someone said, "Pretty sure he is dating right now," and another user replied, "Yeah, her name is Celeste." Shortly after, Celeste was found and brought back home by police. Celeste
Okay,
was
so she
reported
was found
missing for
again.
the third and final time in April
What?
2024. The Riverside County
Okay,
Sheriff's
so yeah, he
Department
made a
opened
mistake,
a missing
okay.
person investigation after Rivas left her home at 9 p.m. on April 5th, wearing gray pants and a black sweater, as well as a hat and Hello Kitty sandals. Celeste's brother Matthew told NBCLA that family members were aware that the girl knew the singer David. Matthew Rivas said when his sister disappeared, she was on her way to see a movie with him, but never returned. Her brother also said that David regularly picked her up in the same Tesla her body was found in. Now, a reasonable person would assume that the family did not know that David was 19. Maybe they could have assumed he was 16 because that is the age you need to be to legally drive a car. Whether or not David knew that Celeste was 6 years younger than him at this point is not clear, but many people have a hard time believing that David could not be aware that he was regularly hanging out with, or worse, being romantically involved with a child. After April 2024, Celeste's family would never see her again. At least, we think. A source for the Daily Mail claimed Celeste stayed in contact with friends for more than a year after being reported missing. There was a photo of her taken at a family member's graduation, but it was posted in August of 2024, and graduations don't typically happen in August. So it was either sometime in May or June when graduations typically happen, or maybe even a full year before. But regardless, the photo seems like it was uploaded long after it was taken. While Celeste was missing, an insider revealed the family received a strange phone call that made them stop searching for her. "I know someone who called her mom and said, 'Stop looking for her, she's fine,'" the insider said. They told the family to take down the social media posts about her being missing. The identity of the alleged caller is unknown, and there's no way to know if they are connected to David. 2 months after being missing, on June 27th, 2024, many believe Celeste is captured backstage walking alongside David's brother at one of his concerts in Los Angeles.
That's
Now,
David's
this
brother?
evidence is much
Wait,
stronger.
but this girl's hair is different though. Y'all saw that, right? Celeste
But
has
pay
black
attention
hair,
here.
right?
David posted a TikTok on February 7th, 2024, before Celeste went missing the first time. It says, "When your card declines at therapy and they bring in that one Hello Kitty girl you met in 2021, take a look at his jeans and the Hello Kitty plushie looped onto his pants. This next photo is a POV shot of a girl with fair skin holding his belt loop wearing the Hello Kitty themed Crocs. Those Crocs match the ones that Celeste was wearing backstage. And the description of her missing person report says that she she was wearing Hello Kitty sandals. Even though we can't 100% confirm, I do strongly believe
I
that
mean, come on, let's be serious. You cannot confirm, right? We can literally confirm this is
girl who was
100% the
captured
same
going
person.
backstage is Celeste. But now there is a huge gap in the timeline from June of 2024 to September 2025 when
Which is
she was found
unaccounted for.
dead. During this 14-month gap, very little is known, and it's very speculative as to what happened and where she was during that time. But
Okay.
this is all the evidence we have. July of 2024 is an insanely important month to remember because basically all of the evidence that we have takes place in this 1 month period. July 7th, 2024, David posts a TikTok of him and a girl with the same skin complexion as Celeste sitting in his Tesla with the caption, "Softest soft launch of all time," suggesting he is now in a relationship. Firstly, we know this wasn't a real-time photo because David was in London on July 7th for the first date of his My House Is Not a Home tour, which means that these photos were taken before July 7th. Maybe he was bored on the plane or in a hotel and just posted them. To know if this is Celeste, first we must take a look at some more photos posted by a TikTok account named Yay Woohoo.
But why, see, this is what I don't understand. If you, the parents, were called by someone saying, stop looking for your daughter because you know she's not missing. Hello, what the fuck are you saying? That's my kid, bro. She's underage. She's not even 18 for me to be like, okay, she's old enough to go out on her own or whatever. She's 13, nigga. Like, I'm not letting my kid just go around. Bro, are you serious? She's not of age to be saying that she has to, like, she can't be making her own choices like that. Like, that's adult choices. That's not kid choices. I'm telling the cops, they're bringing my kid back to me. They're tracing that call, bringing my kid back to me. What the fuck are you talking about? You stop looking for my own kid.
This
Are you
account posted
serious,
photos
bro?
with David seemingly from that exact same day, including one of them kissing and him having a hickey on his neck. The red straight hair initially made people think this was not Celeste because she had black curly hair, but the backstage video of
so
her
maybe
in June
she could have
seems to
dyed her
indicate
hair.
she may have dyed her hair, and the
Yeah.
frizziness is likely a result of using a hot flat iron to straighten thick curly hair. There was also a Discord user in David's official Discord named Yay Woohoo, matching the TikTok account name, who insiders assumed was Celeste. But look at the profile picture. It is seemingly from the perspective of the Yay Woohoo girl and David in the Tesla. They're both doing the Spider-Man hand thing at the camera. It looks like David's hand is on the left and her hand is on the right. You can even spot a ring on her finger, which I will get to in a second. In this
Damn,
photo, it seems like they are parked next to another car with the windows rolled down, just like some teenagers hanging out late at night. It appears that the car next to them has someone in it with a black hoodie on. I mean, I think that jumble of pixels is a person. So if you compare that Yay Woohoo profile picture on Discord with some of the photos that were posted on TikTok, it seems like they may have been chilling all day and all night in that Tesla, sort of taking pictures and hanging out. On July 11th, 2024, David wrote a message in his Discord that said, "Me and deleted user have a kid on the way." We don't know if that deleted user is the same Yay Woohoo user, but
And
it
did
might
they
be.
check to make
David
sure her
was in
account
Paris
is...
when he wrote
Did they make sure her account is missing? I'm sorry. Deleted, actually. Oh my god, let me make sure I don't
that
destroy the
message.
mic.
Many people suggest that he was talking about Celeste and have developed tons of theories surrounding this alleged pregnancy. First of all, even if this was true, there's no way that that baby was born. That would mean that a baby would have been born in April of 2025 at the absolute latest, and I don't think you are hiding a baby for this long. Now, it is possible that the pregnancy could have been real and maybe there was an abortion or maybe she got pregnant again, but we are really stretching that at this point. People have also used this photo, which was posted by Yay Woohoo, as Celeste standing behind David and mimicking a pregnancy announcement, comically placing her hands around an invisible baby bump on David's belly. Basically, people on the internet are trying to establish a motive, that David may have gotten Celeste pregnant and maybe he thought that that would ruin his career, or people would find out that he got a child pregnant and the result of that was potentially a murder. That definitely...
But you see, my case is... This is crazy. Why were the fans in the Discord quiet about it? If you guys were saying Epstein leaks and things, which means you guys are aware she's underage. So why the fuck were you guys quiet about it? Like, why were you guys saying nothing? You guys literally said nothing. And you guys were just chilling in there with them. Which also makes you guys weirdos, right? Like, no joke. No offense, but that's what that makes you. You're supposed to report to the cops because you guys are aware David is 18 or what, 17 or something, and you guys actually said nothing, and you were aware he's dating an underage kid. What are we doing?
Could be a motive, and we don't want to discredit that completely, but it does seem like the timeline doesn't exactly match up. Also, this theory has been debunked
Bro, what
because
are we
Celeste
doing, bro?
Rivas' official death certificate revealed that she was not pregnant and had not been pregnant in the last year. Anyways,
Oh, okay.
Yewahoo is now a deleted account, but there is a Discord chat log that has this person identifying themselves as Yewahoo and then saying she is with David right now on July 22nd, 2024, which could definitely be true because David's European tour ended 6 days before this message. This user also posted a photo in David's Discord wearing a ring where you can also see a red finger tattoo that says David. And if we go back to the Yewahoo TikTok post, all the way in the bottom right corner, you can see what looks like a red finger tattoo. And then again, if we look at the Yewahoo Discord profile picture, you can also see the ring on the finger. Also, this same mystery girl, Yewahoo, who we think might be Celeste, made a post on Instagram under the name Hello Kitty Life Girl sitting across from David. I believe this photo was also posted around July of 2024 because David dyed his hair all the way black at that time and posted a photo of him wearing what appears to be that same pink shirt.
Like
in
that?
the Hello Kitty Life Girl photo, you can see the ring and the red tattoo on the girl's finger. Plus, she was wearing a sweater.
So this one is not a shush. This one is David.
The red tattoo is important because authorities confirmed that the body they found inside the Tesla had a tattoo on her right index finger with the letters shh. David also has a tattoo on his finger that says shh, meaning they allegedly have matching tattoos. But this is confusing because Yewahoo's tattoo doesn't say shh, it
David.
says his name. And it's also on her left ring finger, not her right index finger, which means Yewahoo either isn't actually
So which would mean there's two people. So what? But the Celeste he was in the live stream with is the one missing. So did he break up with her and then went for another girl, or
Celeste, or that red David tattoo wasn't
this
real
is weird,
and
you
maybe
know?
it was a temporary tattoo? Or this could be Celeste and she had both tattoos. She had shh on this finger and then she had David's name on her ring finger.
But the
If
cops
that
would have
were
mentioned
true,
it,
then
right?
It makes the police report incredibly confusing. When
Yeah.
the police found the body,
Because
in
they
the
would have
Tesla,
mentioned it.
they knew that it was the pop star David's Tesla. And then they said that, oh, she had a matching tattoo with David that said shh. Why would they reveal that and not the one that says David on her finger? That would not be the easiest connection ever. Like, oh, okay, this car belongs to David, body in the car. Oh yeah, her finger says David. Like, that seems like really, really crucial evidence. That's just where something doesn't really match up.
For you to say his name alone is big evidence.
About this whole ring finger situation.
I don't know why they would hide that.
Reveal that the body was dismembered or cut up. We don't know to what extent.
Oh my god, that is disgusting. What? Bro, some people are so disheartless, bro. Like, I don't know how people can literally sit down after doing that, offering someone, and you have I don't know what to call it, the face or the ability or the heart to sit down and then be chopping it down. Are you fucking serious? You're a demon, bro. You're fucking disgusting.
How bad it was or what was missing.
This is disgustingly ridiculous, man.
If potentially the left ring finger or maybe the left hand was missing as a potential way to cover up the evidence, this would be some insane level. Like,
but they never mentioned the finger was missing.
Murder type stuff. At the end of July 2024, we have this photo of David at a party and a girl that strongly resembles Celeste, or Yewahoo, behind him. Red curly hair, ring on the finger, wearing David's silk bandana that he has worn hundreds of times. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, but they never mentioned her finger is missing, right?
And it is that girl wearing the silk bandana behind David at the party. But I can't confirm that this is Celeste, although it does seem like it. But there is even more evidence to dissect in July of 2024, I think. And it starts with this photo that was taken right around the corner from Celeste's house. Reports have not identified her exact address, but they revealed that she lived down the street from Del Lago Spirits in Lake Elsinore, California, which would mean somewhere on Jamieson Street. A new townhome community was being developed down Laguna Ave, less than a half a mile away from where Celeste lived. Referring to Google Maps, you can see this is the same parking lot that the photo was taken. Note the double-lined parking lot spaces, specifically the one all the way on the end next to the dirt patch. Also note across the street the brown fence that turns into a white fence, and take note of the wooden utility poles in the back that have the 3 distribution transformers on them. Since David lives 70 miles from Lake Elsinore, California, the only reason he would be down there right around the corner from where she lives is because he at least knew her, at least hung out with her. I mean, we know for a fact at this point there's absolutely no like world where he's like, oh yeah, I don't know who this girl is, I never met her.
Yeah, there's no
There's
way,
enough
bro.
evidence where they were
That
together
part
for
is
sure.
no
They
way.
spent time together. Now, text messages were released by someone who contacted this kid who was standing across from David to give context about why they were in that parking lot. Bro, this was a secret that wasn't supposed to get out. David didn't know how old the girl was. She was lying and saying
Oh my God. I had this, but I was like, let me keep quiet and not say anything. She fucking lied to him. And you see the fact that she can also make those fake IDs and stuff makes it even worse. She fucking lied to the guy, bro. So I'm not saying it's true, but what if maybe after he found out she was lying to him, and then, you know, they got into an argument, and then maybe the offing came up? You get it? Like,
she was 19
oh
when
my
he was
God.
20. And the second he found out, he took her home, and since we were some dumb kids, we tried to blackmail him, and we really messed up. And if you keep that
So what? So he found out and he took it home. Okay.
video up, you could ruin his life for doing nothing wrong over a girl lying, and then you could ruin my life.
Okay, so he actually just brought her back home after finding out she was actually lying to him. So I'm getting the money is counting. I'm guessing the money is counting. He's trying to pay them off with the money.
Because he
But
would
then
know
to keep
I
quiet.
leaked it, and I could go to jail for like slandering him. Now we know this kid's story can't be all the way true because it makes it seem like David hung out with Celeste one time, she lied about her age, and then he drove her back home. And we know they hung out more than one time. But the specific details of this kid blackmailing David actually don't matter. What does matter is simple. This kid knew about David and Celeste, and David did not want anyone else to know about them. And he was willing to pay someone to forget about it, which, you know, opens the door up for so much speculation after like how many times could he have paid someone off or had somebody keep.
Yeah, so and then also that's also a good argument. So if it was maybe like all those years or months that passed by and he was never aware, and maybe finally he became aware that she was actually lying to him and he brought her back. Does he have an argument? I don't know, but if he knew and came back for her, went away, came back for her, went away, that's a different case altogether. But
quiet
let's
or
do this
just,
work
you
for
know,
the cops, bro.
controlled his surroundings to make sure that nobody found out about him and Celeste.
Let's
However,
make sure
the
that
date of when this happened is
Oh my God.
extremely important. And I have some weak evidence, but I do think this parking lot transaction also took place in July of 2024. But we have to
Okay,
focus on
so
the
which was
outfit.
last
now,
year.
he wore this beanie for the first time publicly in February of 2024, which was around the first time Celeste went missing. He posted
says
2
it's really
TikToks wearing the
cool.
cap. But David had long hair in February of 2024, and you could see his hair protruding from the sides of his hats. In the parking lot photo, you can't see his hair from the sides. However, in July of 2024, he posted a TikTok wearing nearly the exact same outfit as the parking lot photo. But David was in Europe at the time of posting this TikTok. There are also no other photos or videos of him wearing this exact beanie in this color anytime after July of 2024. Now, I told you the evidence was weak. However, brand new evidence was just released that throws an unexpected curveball in this entire situation. TMZ obtained a video recorded by a Nest doorbell camera on September 8th, 2024. But the crazy part is, she is back home in Lake Elsinore, and she got into an argument with her neighbors.
Let me talk real quick, okay? You gonna let me talk?
I ain't gonna let you talk.
No, you ain't gonna let me talk. Why you not gonna let me talk? You tripping.
I ain't tripping.
Nah, you tripping. How about you ain't tripping? You gonna let a woman talk? All right, I'm not gonna let your woman talk.
The rest of the clip is just her screaming back and forth with the neighbors. Now keep in mind, Celeste's birthday is September 7th. This video is on September 8th at what seems to be like early hours in the morning, which indicates she was up late, potentially celebrating her birthday. Maybe she was with family. I mean, we know she was home. And to me, she sounds intoxicated or under the influence. Fans immediately recognized Celeste's voice and confirmed that it was the same voice that is in David's songs Invisible String Theory and You Left Me First, but I can't play them due to copyright. Now, a lot of people on the internet are trying to say that, like, oh, David's lawyers are revealing this, and they're trying to make her look like angry or unruly to try to paint some sort of narrative that maybe she is somehow at fault for her own death, but that is honestly just totally...
It doesn't matter, bro. Even if you are toxic or whatever, and someone, so are you trying to say if because I'm toxic someone can kill me? Are you fucking serious, bro? Stop playing, man.
Not focusing
What
on
are we
what
saying?
is mostly important about this clip. This is a massive reveal because it completely reshapes the timeline of Celeste's disappearance. Until now, the assumption was that she vanished in April of 2024 and that her family had never seen her since.
But
and
she
then
came
we
back
had to do
home.
our investigative detective work to assume that maybe the last time she was ever seen was the end of June backstage at that one David show. But this Nest video proves she was still alive in September of 2024, which means every theory built around her going missing in April or going missing after June or July has to be reconsidered. It drastically narrows the potential window of when she may have died, and it places her back at home, not hidden away, abducted, or deceased. It also raises new questions about why her family didn't publicly clarify that they saw
she's
her
back
or
home.
that she returned home. TMZ reported
my God,
that
this is
when
getting
the neighboring
creepy.
family saw Celeste that night,
Like
they just
real
assumed
creepy
she'd been
again.
found and everything was fine. So when did she go missing again? Was she just running away and coming back so much that her family couldn't keep up and just forgot? Did they just get used to her being gone for extended periods of time? Like, oh yeah, like Celeste, she just ran away again. We haven't seen her for a few weeks. 'Cause remember the first time she ran away, February 2024, they made a big deal, rightfully so. Posters, flyers, posts on Facebook. In March of 2024, when she disappeared, same thing. More posters, more flyers. They went down the road to the liquor store to find the surveillance footage. But then April of 2024, not as much. And it sounds messed up to say, but you can imagine a family, if they have a child who keeps running away and keeps not wanting to be back home, like eventually you're probably going to stop putting up the flyers and the posters, especially if she periodically is coming back home. Now, the idea that David's legal team could be purposefully releasing this to help his case, I mean, yeah, that is possibly true. Well, that's what they're going to do. I mean, they're defending their own case, which logical people understand that. This doesn't necessarily clear him, but it is interesting that previously we thought the last time she had ever been seen alive was backstage at one of his shows, and now the last time that she had ever been seen alive is actually at home. But we still have 12 months of a total blackout period, essentially nothing. No photos, no videos, or anything to prove that she was alive after September of 2024 and ultimately until she was found dead September 2025. From an investigative perspective, that 12-month gap is critical because it creates a complete blackout of evidence. In any missing person's case, the period between disappearance and discovery is when investigators look for sightings, digital traces, financial activity, or even small inconsistencies that can narrow down a timeline. But with Celeste, there is basically nothing. That void doesn't point investigators towards a suspect or location, it leaves them with nothing. Now again, I am not defending David. We do know at some point he was spending time with this 13-year-old girl, that she was running away from home to go and hang out with him. We know that they were at least friends, or maybe even potentially more than friends, but this 12 to 14 month gap between, you know, the last time that David had contact with her and then her being dead, I mean, that blackout period, it actually makes his case stronger because literally anything could have happened. She could have been in a different country. She could have met some other guy. She could have been dead. I mean, there's so many things that could have happened.
And also, someone made an argument that it could also be David's manager, or I think they said his manager, his brother, or someone else. They mentioned someone else, but I've forgotten who it was. And what if... You know, let me not say anything. Let me just keep quiet, bro.
Go anywhere. There is this one tiny
I'm
thing
not
that
saying
might be
anything,
a
bro.
clue. In February of 2025, David posted this TikTok on his burner account of him joking about cleaning shoes as a side hustle. He's cleaning a pair of Hello Kitty shoes, as well as a pair of white, black, and gray Jordans that seemingly match a pair that Celeste owned. Some people have interpreted this as him cleaning up his crimes. And the next clue or evidence, which honestly isn't even that strong, doesn't show up until July of 2025, which is a full year later. In July of 2025, 2 months before Celeste was found dead, another girl named Celeste was seen hanging out with David, completely confusing the story. And it starts with this video of him at an arcade. Some live streamers walked up to him, and you could see this girl on the right has her back to the camera. David grabs her arm and pulls her in towards him, and she walks backwards purposefully, keeping her back to the camera until he physically turns her around.
Don't be shy, don't be shy.
She's seen wearing what looks like the exact same Gap hoodie that was in the photos on the missing person poster. When I first saw it, I thought, wow, okay, this is definitely the missing girl. But we now know it's not. In a photo posted by one of David's friends, you can see Celeste Herrera is tagged, wearing the same thick square frame black glasses. And you can see David in the background wearing that same silk bandana. This girl
So it
is
is two
23 years
Celeste.
old. Here is another shot of her from the front, and you could see that this is not the same missing Celeste. Others speculated that the missing Celeste is the girl in the gray flannel in the back, but that is also untrue. That is just a friend of Herrera's named Vanessa, seen pictured here, and she goes by the Instagram username Space Doll. Now, is it really strange that he was hanging out with
What the
another girl
fuck?
named Celeste who had the same exact hoodie and looked very similar? Yes, but what it means is up to speculation. It's
Yeah, so yeah, I'm just going to say, so it could be that after what happened, maybe they got this girl to try and cover things up. Hey, that's not out of the picture, bro. Or it could be genuinely that he was dating the other Celeste for the at first, then he found out she was not of age. She was lying about her age. Dropped her back home. That was why we saw her back in September, and somehow, some way, he met another girl named Celeste and started dating that girl. So these are what I think. These are the two possibilities I think of.
evident that David kept a
this
very
is-
specific
this-
type of
this
girl
thing is
around
crazy.
him. Fair brown skin, dark curly hair. He even has a
Almost
music
like the
video
same
where a
girl,
girl
too.
with light brown skin and dark curly hair gets murdered and thrown in the trunk of a car. Some say this was on purpose, like these were decoys or distractions so nobody could find out about the missing Celeste. And if that were true and this was all by design, now we're talking about like Dahmer level, Bundy level, like serial killer behavior. But again, that's
What?
just speculation. I've seen people say that Celeste's friends
And why would you even do? You see, what the hell, man? You see, why would you even do something like this? And you'll be putting it in. I don't understand. Like, you know, I don't want to say something on YouTube, then I'll
stopped
get
hearing
my
from
account
her in
terminated
July
or
of
something. But
2025
some killers
as a
are
way
just
to
stupid,
prove
bro.
that she was still alive at this point, but this case is serious enough where we need irrefutable proof of that. However, the facts of this case really start to ramp up and become crucial around August of 2025. On August 5th, 2025, David performed the first show of his Withered World Tour in Del Mar, California. Upon entering the venue, fans encountered a vigil where David commemorated the death of his alter ego, Atami, which represented the subconscious evil that we all have within us, according to an interview from 2024. David expressed wanting to create an animated series surrounding his alter ego.
Then he's basically an agent of chaos and kind of my alter ego. And the story of the manga went like I was a detective and there was an evil version of myself that would kind of come out at random moments. He would commit the crimes that I would have to solve as the detective.
David has also been known to express his love for gore, at one point even saying he was addicted to watching gore videos. I like writing gory psychological drama, romantic quotes, and a lot of death, he says. He admitted that he became so desensitized to it that he would laugh at gore videos or videos of murder. Another signature part of his branding was was his blood-stained shirt that he often took photos in, performed in. David's artistic branding has consistently revolved around death, violence, and psychological darkness, but he complements it with these beautiful singing ballads that make it feel poetic and romantic rather than purely grotesque. This isn't necessarily new at all. Tons of super famous artists like XXXTentacion, My Chemical Romance, Trippie Redd, Nine Inch Nails have pursued a similar artistic direction. However, now people are looking at his branding as almost him hiding in plain sight. At the opening night of the Withered tour, David's fans were greeted with an elaborate setup that included a casket being wheeled out of a hearse. Inside, the casket sat near a wreath and a guest book where people could write notes to a Tommy. David's online shop sells something called The Withered Scrapbook, where his fans are encouraged to share, when do you feel like a Tommy takes over? What usually happens? And how does it make you feel? Another page asks fans to write a letter to a Tommy, talk to them like a friend, or maybe an enemy, and let them know how you feel about their presence in your life. This is especially disturbing because during the first few weeks of this tour, the LAPD believes there was a dead girl decomposing inside the trunk of his Tesla. The residents of the Hollywood Hills community where David lived reported a Tesla sedan had been sitting on Bluebird Avenue for at least 3 weeks. They also said that the car was spotted in various places around the neighborhood in the preceding months, as far back as the end of May. Now, this seems incredibly odd. Did David not have a garage or a free parking space? Why not just park the car at his place? It's not like he was this car collector known to have multiple cars just kind of sitting around. As far as we know, this was his only vehicle. The car was officially reported to the police on August 26th as residents wanted it moved. The next day, the street was marked with white chalk around the tires, so if it was moved, the white chalk would be messed up and there would be white residue on the tire. They came back to the car on September 3rd and there was no marking on the tires, therefore it never moved, so they issued a ticket. Then 2 days later the car was still not moved, so on September 5th it was officially towed at 10:20 a.m. However, 3 days after it was towed, on September 8th, 2025 at 12:30 p.m., officers responded to a report of a foul odor coming from the impounded vehicle at the Hollywood tow lot on North Mansfield Avenue in LA, and that's when they found the decomposing body. Many people have come to the conclusion that David left this car, or someone else left this car, on the street with her body in there. But if her body was decomposing in the trunk for days or weeks in the hot Los Angeles summer, wouldn't the stench be apparent? Multiple different people were likely around this car. Residents maybe walked their dogs by the car. They knew that the car was suspiciously parked there for weeks. It bothered them enough to report it. And obviously the tow truck driver had to connect the car to the tow truck, thus being pretty close to it, and nobody had reported an odor at that point. I mean, maybe it's possible that the plastic bag or multiple plastic bags that were holding the body had masked the smell, and yeah, maybe if the trunk was airtight, I suppose the odor couldn't have leaked out. But then once it was towed, the body may have gotten tossed around and sort of seals were broken and fumes were exposed. When scanning the area, you can see that the car was suspiciously parked in the perfect place. Almost all of these houses have massive privacy hedges, so even if these houses have cameras, they likely can't see what's going on in the street. The car was parked in such a specific place that only one house across the street could have gotten a video of it, and that's only if they had a camera near the roof. Police searched for surveillance video in the Hollywood Hills area where David's Tesla was abandoned. Multiple residents who live on the block recalled LAPD sweeping the area and talking with every neighbor they can track down to see if there's a ring camera or surveillance video showing David's car. The neighbor who called to have the car towed also spoke to police and turned over footage. I don't think we are going to get a perfect video that solves this case. The best we are likely going to get is a video from a house down the street or around the corner that just tells us potentially the last time that the car was driven in the general area. But that would be a major discovery, because if we know when the last time that car was driven, we can potentially rule David in or out as being the driver, since he was on tour around the time it was reported. Like, for example, if the car was driven any time after August 6, 2025, then it wasn't David that drove the car. That doesn't necessarily mean he isn't involved, because
Yeah, it could be a
since this is
two-man or
Tesla,
three-man job,
it's
or
unlikely the
like,
car was
bro.
stolen or even broken into. Teslas are some of the least stolen cars in America, and that's basically because the car is a computer, which also brings up so many other questions. Those cars track everything. They have cameras everywhere. They have satellites that are constantly taking in information and reporting other information. You can even get a notification on your phone when the trunk is opened. We have to assume the LAPD is looking into his Tesla account, no?
Well, it's all going to depend on if Sentry mode was turned on. Because if Sentry mode was actually activated on the vehicle, then it's doing a lot of recording of video footage from its 8 external cameras. And so if that was the case, then you'd actually have clips of the people opening the door, a clip of someone opening the
So
trunk, and
you can turn
that
it
could
off.
possibly be recovered by the police. Now, if Sentry mode's not turned on, then it's not going to be doing any of those recordings. And what
Oh my
you'll get
God.
is recordings when the vehicle's in motion versus when it's stationary.
LAPD Captain Scott M. Williams says, "We know that the Tesla had been parked at the location from which it was towed for several weeks, so it is very likely Celeste Rivas Hernandez had been dead for several weeks prior
Oh, okay,
to her
so
body being
several weeks.
discovered,
Okay.
which supports the theory that it could have happened before he went on tour on August 5th.
Now, David was supposed to be starting his Withered tour on July 30th, 2025. That is according to original merch that he put out for this tour. He was supposed to perform in San Francisco on July 30th. He was supposed to perform in Phoenix, Arizona.
This is a
on
weird
August
case,
1st,
bro.
and then was supposed to perform in Del Mar, California on the 2nd and on the 5th. The first 3 shows, however, were canceled. He didn't start his tour on July 30th. He instead started the tour on August 5th, 6 days late.
The medical examiner's office said the victim is a female who wore a tube top, black leggings, a yellow metal chain bracelet, and stud earrings. She had wavy black hair and weighed approximately 71 pounds. The day before her body was found, September 7th, was actually her birthday, so she technically never turned 15 years old. David
Oh my
posted a
God.
selfie that day with a Hello Kitty shirt on. Despite potentially being a suspect in a homicide case, David still performed at his show in Minneapolis, Minnesota on September 9th, 2025. That same day, Crocs and Hollister dropped David from its Dream Drop collection, which launched just 6 days earlier. Less than 24 hours after the body was found in her car, remember, Celeste's identity had not been revealed to the public just yet, and none of the information you now know was revealed. This comment shows up on Reddit. "This guy is a pedo from what I've heard. My sister, who is now in 9th grade, told me that he was dating an 8th grader, let's call her C, and she would go on trips with him to LA.
So you see, I don't get these people. Like, if you knew something like this, why the fuck were you quiet all this while? If your sister has told you something like this for a long time, why were you guys quiet about it? Your sister knew about it. She never told anyone. She shut the fuck up and she said nothing about it. Waited all this while. Now the person is dead. You reporting could have literally saved their life. But you guys all kept quiet. And now you guys, I hate people like this, bro.
They're all in 9th grade, and it turns out C's
You could have said
friends
something,
knew,
man.
and he
Like,
would
just
pay
say
them to
something.
keep their mouths shut. C has been missing for over a month now, and no one
All
knows
because
her
of money. You let
whereabouts.
someone get
Definitely
killed,
something
bro. That's
strange
crazy.
going on. Celeste, whose name starts with C, was 13 to 14 years old, which would make her an 8th grader. Plus, remember, we had gone over evidence that was later revealed of David allegedly paying off someone who caught the two together, which is extremely interesting, and it reveals that even sort of random, regular people knew about what was going on,
Yeah,
and that
and
David
they all
was
kept quiet.
romantically involved with a child, but kept quiet. The cause of the teen's
That's
death
crazy.
is still classified as
You should all get
deferred.
arrested,
The
bro.
Los Angeles County Medical Examiner has
My
not yet
God.
determined the cause or the manner of Miss Rivas Hernandez's death. That's also why there hasn't been any arrests yet. It remains unclear whether there is any criminal culpability beyond the concealment of her body. They are still waiting on toxicology reports to determine if there were substances in her system. Robbery homicide detectives served a search warrant at the home David was renting. On September 17th, 2025, several items of evidence were recovered from the home, including his computer, and will be analyzed by detectives. Investigators also searched the home for blood. LAPD's Scientific Investigation Division took part in the 12-hour search of David's home, using luminol to look for trace amounts of blood. Luminol is a chemical spray investigators mist over floors, walls, or objects in a darkened scene. If it contacts the iron and hemoglobin, which are red blood cells, even in tiny, cleaned, or diluted traces, it produces a brief blue-white flow that reveals hidden blood stains for photography. However,
Wow.
they did not state officially whether or not they found any blood in his place. In immediate neighbor in Hollywood said he saw David and Celeste all the time and believed they had lived together at the home. They were pretty quiet. I never saw police there and didn't hear them partying or anything. Nothing wild. I last saw them a couple of months ago. I'm not sure, but I thought they were just kids, like a couple aged 18 and 19. Celeste's former science teacher was seen taking out his phone and informing students that he had taught Celeste years earlier. The teacher was teaching a lesson on the dangers of social media and used her as an example.
That's her in my classroom in front of this poster right here. Okay, hold up. I got another one because I got a picture on TMZ of this other kid exchanging stuff with the rapper who we alleged did this stuff. Hold on a second.
Bro said rapper.
He's also.
He said a rapper, right? He's a singer.
How long ago was
this? We all just found out yesterday who it was, but she's been missing since I taught her. So when I taught her, she met this dude on social media. He was a rapper in LA. He came and got her. She ran away from home. She was gone for like a month. Cops found her in Hollywood, brought her back to our school. She came back to our school, kind of told people this story. She disappeared again in May of that year, May of 2024. That's when her friends told me what happened, that it was this rapper. And then I found out yesterday that she's now dead in that rapper's car, cut into pieces. You want to know how they met? I feel like I just said it. Social media.
Someone
They cut into pieces part is ridiculous.
interested
bro.
in the case found and contacted Matthew, who was Celeste's brother, on Instagram. The person questioned why David followed Matthew. He replied, "He found my account out of nowhere and followed me." He also said that he met David once. When asked if the family knew about Celeste dating David and living at his home, Matthew said, "I knew and went to the police about it, but lack of evidence, so it was waived off."
Lack of evidence? Wait. How is your sister missing? You know she's with someone famous. You go to the cops to report and they say lack of evidence. What the fuck is lack of evidence? If you guys go to his house and like you guys can literally track his house, go to his house. If you see the girl there, what evidence do you guys need again? Are we serious? Which one is lack of
Matthew also
evidence?
said that David would tell Celeste
Oh
that
my
he was
God.
waiting until she turned 18 to get married, which could make the ring on Ye Wahoo's finger some sort of promise ring. Matthew was unaware of all of the resurfaced Discord messages. He confirmed that a number of the photos circulating on the internet are of his sister and David. He also confirmed that leaked text messages between Celeste and her friend are real, where Celeste talks about activity with David. She wrote, "I only bled with David," and then she says, "With Gus, I was just drunk and did it because he got mad at me the first time for not having X with him."
Wait, who is Gus?
Matthew said these texts were real because he knows who Gus was. He lived in Elsinore, California, and was killed by gun violence. More deleted user Discord
What?
messages were revealed that show someone, potentially Celeste, admitting to losing their virginity at age 11. Now, there are so many more rumors, hearsay, rabbit holes, but I tried to include all of the facts
11
along
years.
with reasonable speculation or leads
Okay,
that
so that's
have a
the David,
decent
right?
source. There is nothing wrong with asking questions and tracking down leads, but it starts to feel like people want to be a part of a Netflix crime documentary style expose more than just reasonable, logical concern for a young girl.
Yeah,
There
some
was a
people are
guy
just
on
chasing
Reddit
clout
who
for
said
this
he
thing.
lives near David
This
and
is the guy I was
started
talking
scoping out
about.
the place, allegedly finding a discarded Tesla key, suggesting it may have been David's. He did report it to the police. There's also rumors that David was paying Celeste's family $20,000 per month to keep quiet. There was a straight up lie that the
What?
FBI had a warrant out for the arrest of David's bodyguard. There's always the classic, she was a Hollywood Illuminati sacrifice for David. There's rumors that she was being trafficked. Every girl that loosely resembles Celeste around David is being pointed out, and people are speculating if it's her or not. The most unfortunate part about this case is because of so little evidence being released to the public, along with Celeste not being seen for months before she died, technically any theory you want to come up with can't necessarily be counted out. You could essentially make anything up, and there isn't that much evidence to prove you wrong. wrong. She could
Yeah,
have been
but some
locked
people
in a
just piss
basement.
you
She
off with
could
their
have
fake
been
ass evidence,
trafficked
bro.
around the world. She could have accidentally overdosed on drugs, and this was a sloppy attempt to discard her remains. This could have been extremely disturbing, premeditated serial killer style murder. She could have ran off with an entirely different person. It could be someone
This is
David was friends with, loosely
You see,
knew,
that's what I was
kinda
saying.
knew, met one time, didn't know. It feels like we know so much, but so little at the same time. Right now, the most important thing is finding any proof of her being alive between the dates of September 2024, which was the last time she was seen alive at home in Lake Elsinore, California, and September 2025 when she was found dead. Anything in that time period will get us closer to understanding when, how, and maybe why she was killed. And obviously anything surrounding this car. The Tesla data will get us so much closer to solving this, as well as knowing how much David may or may not be involved, because right now he has not been arrested. He has canceled all of his shows around the world, and he's been radio silent on social media. And you would think that this is surely the end of his career, but the exact opposite has happened. Originally, his labels had paused all promotional activities related to David out of respect for the seriousness of the situation and the ongoing investigation, but his music streaming numbers increased tremendously. His album Petals to Thorns re-entered the Billboard 200 Hot Albums chart. He earned his biggest streaming day of all time on Spotify on September 21st with 12.1 million streams. As of right now,
but I think that's just people being curious, like, who is he, who's David, like, let me see who it is.
Has helped his career,
that kind of stuff.
Probably got him a ton of new fans who genuinely couldn't care about his crimes. I mean, R. Kelly still has millions of monthly listeners. David has also retained attorney Blair Burke to represent him. Burke is a prominent Hollywood defense attorney known for taking on high-profile clients in the midst of a crisis, especially men accused of misconduct ranging from sexual assault to domestic violence. Burke's list of clients has included Harvey Weinstein, Johnny Depp, Marilyn Manson, Sylvester Stallone, Mel Gibson. At the absolute worst case scenario, David is involved with or committed the murder of a child. Best case scenario, which is still horrible, is
but bro, if there's no way, if you're a judge, or lawyer, or whatever they call yourself, if the moment you find out this is true, don't try to defend the person.
That he had a relationship with
like,
a child
don't
that was
even
6
try
years
to get
younger
him
than
a
him,
short
but it
sentencing
seems
or whatever, bro.
unlikely
Like,
that he is
no.
entirely innocent and had absolutely nothing to do or no connection or no knowledge of the murder of Celeste Rivas Hernandez.
Oh my god, that was crazy. That was a really good video too. Yeah, shout out to Patrick, CC. I'll leave the channel link in the description. You go check him out. You see, he literally explained the video, the whole story for me to actually understand what's actually going on. Unlike others just chasing clouds and just saying some yapping that shit. So, what do you guys think? This is crazy. Like, whoa, almost an hour video. Huh. This is real creepy, you know, real fucking creepy. I hope they solve this case. But I'm starting to feel like this is not a one person thing. Like, it's not, if it's actually him, then it's not a one person case. Like, it's not one person that's involved. But if it's only him, then this is really crazy for him to be able to cover everything up on his own. And if it's not him and it was someone trying to frame him, and this is a whole different story on its own. Yeah. Anyways, I'll catch you in the next video. Y'all stay blessed. Thanks for watching the video to this end. And I'll catch you in the next one. So, boy, BR to the G. And I'll catch you on Sunday. Okay? Y'all stay blessed. The video doesn't want to end.